Wonderman exists. He is real. Marvel Television dropped the first full trailer for Wonderman, coming out now in January of 2026. And this is Marvel getting self-aware about superhero celebrity, and Simon Williams might be the perfect character to do that through. But who is Simon Williams? Who is Wonderman? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, my name is Troy. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Wonderman trailer that was just released by Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, over the weekend at New York Comic Con. It has been under the radar for quite some time. I feel like it hasn't been officially, formally announced in any capacity. It's been kind of dropped in conversations that Kevin Feige has had in interviews, that sort of thing, but there's never really been any formal announcement at all of this movie. And this is really the first time that we've done so on stage at New York Comic Con, with Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Sir Ben Kingsley coming back and reprising his role as Trevor Slattery, promoting this show. It's going to be 8 episodes, about 30 minutes long. But again, this is flowing under the radar. I think a lot of people don't know who Wonderman is, and so I wanted to talk about that today, about who is this character and why, based off of this trailer, I think he's going to be a fun fit into the MCU. So in the comics, Wonderman's real name is Simon Williams, a character who first appeared all the way back in Avengers #9 that came out in 1964. He started out as a villain who was created by Baron Zemo, of all people, to infiltrate the Avengers, but he ended up sacrificing himself to save them. He was later resurrected as a hero, and he developed these powers, these ionic energy powers, kind of like super strength, flight, almost like this near immortality sort of thing. But he really is this superhuman person who's able to do these really cool things. And one of the coolest parts of this character is his actor backstory, which the show is definitely going to be leaning into in this interpretation of the character. I think it's really fun that in the trailer, when they're kind of remaking this Wonderman movie, and that's the plot of the show, is that we get flashbacks of this really old footage of the film being made in the 70s or so. And they really pay an homage to the original look of the character in that movie, in the show, which is really fun. In this photo here, you can definitely see it. It's just a really cool nod to the original character. So in the comics, he is an actor and a stuntman. He goes to Hollywood. It was kind of established in the West Coast Avengers days back in the 80s, and it was more heavily explored in a solo series that came out in the 90s. And so it's really fun to see them lean into that, of this character, that, hey, he's somebody who is wanting to make it in Hollywood. It's going to feel really meta, which I think is really fun. I like that they're kind of making fun of themselves a little bit when it comes to superhero fatigue. You kind of saw that in the first poster that came out this weekend as well, which I think it was a knock on Variety in the cover that they had a little while ago, kind of talking about superhero fatigue in Marvel. And so I think it's just really fun that they're going to be self-aware and meta, kind of poking fun at themselves. And the show really seems like it's going to be leaning into him juggling fame and image and what it means to be a hero in the public eye, which is kind of who Wonderman is. He kind of thinks through. There's a lot of confusion of what it means to be a hero in the comics. And so it's going to be cool to see that interpretation come to life here in this show. Because in the comics, he's always wrestling with this, am I a real hero or am I just playing one? And what does it mean to be known for saving people when I used to have this villainy arc or this villain backstory? Which, again, I don't know if we're necessarily going to get that, since Yahya's interpretation seems a little bit more newer, a little bit more modern. But it's going to be interesting to see how that influences the character as well. And so I think he can fit really well into the MCU going forward, because it seems, not from this trailer, but from other teases that we've seen, some sizzle reels, that he does have some powers and abilities that are going to be very similar to his set in the comics. And so my theory is that the reason why he believes Wonderman is the role for him is because he has these abilities, he has these powers, and he's going to use them to land this role. He's going to use them to kind of bring this, fictional hero to life, so to speak, and be this hero that he kind of wants to be in the end. And so I think that's a really fun way they could play up both the celebrity and the hero aspect of the story by having him already have these powers, having him already established, and having him help him get this role. And I think having Sir Ben Kingsley back as Trevor is a really fun way to mix the actor background of that character. Is a really funny moment in the trailer when they mentioned him being a terrorist in the past. And so I think he's gonna be a really good comic relief. He was really funny in Shang-Chi, and so I'm really glad they're bringing him back in this capacity too. But I think there's some really strong potential for this character to have interactions with Vision, maybe even Wanda in the future, right? In the comics, he has really heavy interactions with the two of them. They're really tight, and they are really tight, especially with Vision, in the West Coast Avengers run of the comics, which, if you think about it, this show is set in LA. Vision Quest series is going to explore Vision on the West Coast as well. And so could that be a natural setup that we see in the next phase of the MCU post Doomsday and Secret Wars, is this West Coast Avengers with potentially Wonderman and Vision amongst, Tommy and Billy, maybe some other characters that are going to pop up down the line. So there's some really fun stories that we could tell with these multiple characters that he has a deep history with in the comics. But I think Wonderman will let Marvel explore fame, identity, and legacy, all things that feel very relevant as they close out this multiverse saga. It's not just another world-ending story. It could be a character study that's wrapped up in this Hollywood satire. And so I think the possibilities for the show are very exciting, and the possibilities for the character going forward in the MCU are there. And so I'm excited to see what this show is and how it plays out. But what did you think of the Wonderman trailer? Drop your thoughts below as well. What do you know about the character? What are some things that you're excited for them to potentially portray in this show and beyond? Be curious to know your thoughts, guys. Leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe for more content. Thanks for tuning in.